All right, today the Supreme Court issued its first ever rulings on the issue of same-sex marriage in America, and the reaction has been emotional on both sides of the debate. Well, first came the 5-4 ruling on the Defense of Marriage Act, also known as DOMA. The court struck down the part of that law that denies federal benefits to legally married gay couples in this country. Then came the decision on Proposition 8 in California. The justices cleared way for the return of gay marriages in the state by leaving in place a trial court's ruling that banning them was unconstitutional. Now, the decisions were closely followed by President Obama, who just a couple years ago opposed gay marriage. After hearing the news today, he called the plaintiffs in the Proposition 8 case to congratulate them from Air Force One.
We're proud of you guys, and you guys should be very proud of today. And your courage, you're helping out a whole lot of people everywhere.
Okay, I was just turning to look at that. We watched the screen. So obviously, legally speaking, I think this is a very significant day, and this is the type of two cases that are going to be read years from now in law schools and in law school, legal books across the country. That's what I was thinking of the first thing when I heard about it. I'm not surprised by the ruling. We covered this on Is It Legal on O'Reilly. This was the prediction we gave, 5-4 decision, authored by Justice Kennedy, striking down DOMA. Kind of your thoughts and reflections on it, Dana.
I wasn't surprised with the decision, although I think that there's still a lot to learn about the decision. One of the lawyers, two lawyers that I saw that were on opposite sides of it, came out later and they said it's actually kind of a confusing ruling.
Yeah.
But the bottom line of it is that if you are in favor of gay marriage, you were pleased today. And for those who were disappointed in the decision, I think there are some things to look into here, which is that there was a victory of government of principles over government overreach. If you're looking at from a legal perspective, politically, I think that in some ways this begins the long road to having gay marriage no longer be a political weapon used by either side, and gives people a chance to maybe then focus on other important issues that we have in the country.
Bob?
Well, two things strike me. First of all, on the Walker decision in California, here you have a referendum initiative put before the state. It costs millions of dollars to put one of those things on, and they find out it's unconstitutional. It seems you could go to this, find that out before you go and put everybody through this, number one. Number two, I think what the Supreme Court basically has said here is, in a 5-4 decision, you always notice that they're always complicated. Nobody seems to quite understand it because they're 5-4. But what they're basically saying is, your government can't tell you how you're going to live your lives. That way, it's almost a libertarian position. However, I think this is going to ignite, as Murphy Brown did in the 90s, I think this has the potential to ignite a values war in politics. I really do.
Eric?
Well, let's do the politics. President Obama was defending DOMA, then he decided he evolved into not defending DOMA anymore, and then he evolved even further to where he actually went and sued in favor of DOMA. So he has evolved. The Prop 8 decision, I think the court did an injustice to the American people. Here's how it went down. So California Prop 8 says marriage is between a man and a woman. The Ninth Circuit said that's unconstitutional, California. You can't say that. And then the Supreme Court says we're going to give it back to the circuit, to the lower court. If they were going to go so far as declaring DOMA unconstitutional, Defense of Marriage Act, why wouldn't they go ahead and do it in the case of California itself?
Because it's a California Constitution we're talking about here, not the federal Constitution.
I understand that, but you want to know something? They could have gone and said, then it shouldn't have brought it up. Then it should never have hit the court. They said,
but they were able to sidestep the issue.
Let's not even go 5-4 deciding we're not going to make a decision.
They didn't make a decision. And what Eric is saying is right, that they did not make a decision with respect to the merits of the right being a protected right in California Proposition 8. But what they did do was say you can't just go to the voters, take this case, and then decide what they're. So there's an issue there. People feel that you shouldn't disenfranchise the vote and the will of the people. But the court said, listen, we're not going to even decide that, whether or not this is an equal protection issue with respect to the Proposition 8 case. And then they just kicked it back down to the lower court and said that decision.
You know what this does do? It opens up hundreds and hundreds of federal benefits for same-sex
financial
marriage.
issue, yeah.
It's a lot of money involved here, too.
And a lot will be retroactive as well, which is significant. But this is going to affect all the states that, in fact, have same-sex marriage legal on the books. And then what about the states where they have civil unions like New Jersey? We'll see what happens. Greg?
Yeah, I don't have any legal expertise in this matter whatsoever. I feel that this is a huge conservative victory. Because you can no longer deprive someone of an extremely traditional value that makes your life better by curtailing promiscuity and destructive lifestyles. I'm talking about myself. Marriage to my wife made me a better man. As a right-winger, I want to impose that belief on others, because that's what right-wingers do. As a conservative point of view, you cannot deny someone seeking a morally superior behavior. And that's what marriage supplies, a calm civilization. Without marriage, the world falls apart, and it's good. What else would you offer them? If you told them that they could not be married, what would you want them to do? And why would you care? And I understand the religious implications of that, and I wish that gay activists would be more tolerant of the religious implications, because you know, that takes time to work through as well. And I also say to gay activists, they need to move on to real challenges in this world. It's fun to mock and make fun of Fred Phelps, who are harmless, pathetic villains, but go to a mosque. Talk to radical Islam. Think about your compatriots in Iran, in the Middle East, who are dying because of their sexual orientation. There are people that are boycotting the Boy Scout events, but still perform. Bands still perform in Dubai. There's a lot of hypocrisy going on that side that needs to be solved.
Very quickly, I know we got to go, but very quickly, again, we're going to have a bifurcated legal system, legal rulings. The way we do it a lot with pot, where on the federal level, marijuana is illegal, but in certain states it's legal. You're getting the exact same thing. I am all in favor of letting the states decide what the heck they want to do with their laws on this.
And if you have some free time, you might want to take a look at Antonin Scalia's dissenting opinion. You can read it from the bench, and he's saying under what constitutional laws did they, because he feels that they didn't specify legally how they came to this decision. It was more of like a procedural thing.